so hello class, welcome to our week 5 and 6. For our week 5 and 6, we still continue with our laboratory classes. Okay, so we're going to draw at the end of week 6. I expect you to submit already the catch basin layout and the storm drainage isometric layout. Okay, so I think most of you have access to this. So this is the document found in our use step, which was prepared by Architectural Harayo. Okay, so this is what you call the catch basin layout. So as you can see, this is the perimeter of your house. The catch basin could be identified by the uh, uh, description CB. Okay, so from your downspout glass, so the water coming from the downspout, they're directed to the catch basin. Then from the catch basin, it goes out to the street drainage. So usually the sizes of your catch basin, I think for standard, I think it's around zero point 0.6 by zero point 0.6 by zero point 0.6. So it's around zero point 0.6 cubic meters. No, not zero point 0.6 cubic meters. That's zero point 0.6 by zero point 0.6 by zero point 0.6. So just multiply that. Okay, to get uh, the sizes. Okay. So in this drawing class, I think you could still find also the legend. So the legend here uh, uh, describes the line types. Okay. Let me zoom this in. Okay. So here we have the sanitary sewer lines, water distribution lines. Also, you could find also the other descriptions. So what's important here is the CV or the catch basin. Okay. If you look at the drawing class, so from the downspout, it goes to the CV directly. So there are downspout class embedded in the columns as well. And I think this is a wall. Okay. It goes directly to the catch basin. So I can't remember class if I discussed to you on the disadvantage of having a downspout and a gutter, because it has advantages as well as disadvantages as well, especially if you're building your house, you build a house which has a nearby tree. Okay, so once the leaves reaches the gutter and it's not maintained well, there's a tendency for them to block. Okay, then there's also an advantage and a disadvantage in embedding your downspouts at the columns or at the walls. If you place your downspout outside, of course, maintenance wise, it'd be easier to access. But I think one of the disadvantages is that it would not look quite good for the architectural character of your house or building. Okay, so later on, I'll show you an example from AutoCAD so that it'd be easier to zoom in or zoom out. Then you're going to do also what you call the storm drainage isometric layout. So the scale will be 1 to 100. If you're familiar in doing your isometric in your drawing, no, in your graphic subjects. Okay, so all you have to do is uh, place your floor plans in isometric manner, then project the different storm drainage system. So in this case, this is a storm drainage isometric. Okay, so as you can see the roof here, the downspouts, all the way to the catch basins. So I imagine that this is, I think this is a little bit easier when you do it in CAD, but when you do it in manual, it's a bit, it requires a bit of skill, which is the type of skill class that I want you to develop before we end our subject in plumbing. Okay, so don't take our plumbing subject, uh, take don't take this for granted, because you need to have the skills and you need to understand the different parts, the kind of drawings that you need in your plumbing plans. So I'm going to show in AutoCAD. So this is a past project. Okay, so this is the catch basin, but I'll show you the septic tank detail also. Okay, so this is a three chamber septic. I think it's 2 by 4 or something. Okay. So we have here the digestion chamber. I think we have discussed this in our lectures. The chlorination chamber and a leaching chamber. So it goes out. Then the thickness is a 150 mm thick concrete wall with 10 mm RSB spaced at 150 mm. Then it has a depth of 1.5 and a thickness of I think zero point 0.2 here at the thickest base. Okay. I can't remember class if I discussed to you that there's a certain depth for your septic vault to be effective, because a certain you need the presence of your anaerobic bacteria to digest the different waste produced by your structure. Okay. Then this is an example of a catch basin detail. So you have here the plan. So this is from the downspout. This is a 75 mm thick precast concrete cover. Then it's a outlet of concrete drainage pipe, 16 mm with lifting handle. So this is the plan. Okay, so this is the concrete drainage pipe. So finish grade line. Okay, this one is sized at 0.8 by 0.45, but it would really differ also on the design that you're going to place. Okay. Then there's also here water's closet details. So you have here the water closet. So this is one for the water tank for the flushing. This is where your waste is going to pass. So you can see here the vent pipe, okay, and here a floor flange here. Okay, then it's also, you can hear the general notes on plumbing, which is, this is something that you will get from the National Plumbing Code. Okay. Then of course the different symbols and the abbreviations. Okay. So you're going to place that in your plan. Then this is an example class of an isometric view. Okay. Here, in this style, the roof is no longer reflected. So, but the downspouts are identified. Okay. So from the downspouts, okay, you can see that it goes here, then to the catch basin. Okay. Then from the catch basin, it releases the public drainage system. So the same thing is repeated also. Then the catch basin also gets the waste from the lavatories because they don't contain fecal matter. Okay. Then waste from the floor drains are also sometimes released to the catch basin. Here in this isometric view, you could also see um, where the top source from the water tap. Here we have a check valve and a gate valve. Okay. Then you're going to place the legend also here. So I think class, with this example, you have already a grasp or understanding on how to do the isometric. Okay. So just by looking at this, you won't get this 100%. That's why you must try to practice and implement. So the key here, class, when you're drafting plans, especially using manual, is practice, and then make sure that the line weights that you are using are distinguishable and understandable. If you can do that, then you can present a plan that could be understood by laymen and technical people as well. But for me, class, a good plan, a good building plan, whether it's plumbing, electrical, architectural, structural, is something that could also be understood by your foreman at the site and construction workers as well. So the working drawings class, these are the set of instructions that the architect prepares to the different workers on the site. So therefore, you must make sure that it's legible and it is neat, and it is not just done for compliance only. Because as the author of the building class, it is your pride and dignity to make sure that what you draw on paper could be executed in reality as well. Okay, so that's the technical aspect of architecture which I want you to learn. Because architecture class is not just an art, uh, it is science as well. So there's an engineering component to it. Okay, so this is not fine arts. Okay, but it is important that in architecture you know how to communicate visually. So that could be done. How you come, which can say the building plans class. Those are the set of instructions that you give to the site uh, to make sure that what you have in mind is communicated to everybody uh, in the project. Okay, so if they understood what you are trying to say in your plans, specifications, and drawings, it means that you have been successful in doing your part as the architect, especially if you're just the architect of record for the project. Okay, so when you reach your professional practice, there are two types of architects involved. First is the architect of record, then the architect in charge of construction. Okay, so if you do design build, you're the one who prepared the plans and you're going the one to construct it, then that's good because I think you have a fair understanding already of what what's your vision for the project. But if you're just doing the design, then you must make sure, class, that what you write in the plans could be easily understood. Okay, so I think mastery of something, class, is conveyed when you make something complicated simple. Okay, so if you have any further clarifications or questions, class, for activities for this week, feel free to contact me anytime through my Facebook and through my email, and I will always respond on time as long as I'm online. Okay, so stay safe, and I hope that you're all doing well in this pandemic. So I'll see you next meeting.